Hey guys, welcome back to the channel Zen Kaya. So today I am very excited to announce that we are going to start a new chapter, or you can say a new playlist where I am going to teach you ethical hacking from step 1 to a advanced level. All right. So this is day 1 of ethical hacking. So first of all, before starting, I would ask you one question. What do you understand by hacking? All right. For me, hacking is nothing but a curiosity to understand one system. Okay, whether it can be your computer system, or whether it can be a society or any other system. Basically, the world consists of a system, right? A rules that follows. So our task as a ethical hacker or non-ethical hacker, that is again your choice, but our task is to understand the system and find the vulnerability of that particular system and to secure. All right. So with that, I am going to start today's first session. All right. So in the first session, before diving into the practical part, first we need to get some theories cleared. All right. So the first part is phases of ethical hacking. Basically, the process of ethical hacking. What are the steps that you need to follow one by one? All right. So the picture that you can see here, there are 5 steps or process, you can say. First is reconnaissance, or you can say footprinting. All right, we will see each and every step thoroughly, but let us see the overall 5 steps. Second is scanning. Third is gaining access. Fourth is maintaining access, and fifth is clearing tracks. I'm sure this is self-explanatory, right? But anyway, we are going to see in depth in each and every step. All right. So the first is reconnaissance. That is nothing but you can think the scenario where you are the thief. Okay. For understanding purpose, I am taking this example. Do not go and steal something from someone. All right, it is bad. But yeah, anyway, here we are understanding the process. So imagine yourself as a thief and you are going to one house for a robbery. All right. So imagine the pressure in you, or if you get caught, then what will happen to you? You need to understand the consequence also, right? So you need a proper planning in order to steal something from that home, right? So the first step will be reconnaissance. In technical terms, it is known as reconnaissance, or in simple words, you can also understand collecting information about the target. All right. Before going into someone's house, you need to understand the proper house, the geographical location, the architecture, the system, or the house, how it works or how it functions, right? All this comes under reconnaissance. So you can see the description: gathering information about the target system to identify potential vulnerabilities. All right. So you need to collect the information as much as possible, as minute as possible, or I would say. All right. So there are few techniques that are being used. That is nothing but Google docking, lookups, DNS enumeration, social engineering tactics. All these are what? All these are different tools that you can use. All right. This is all about information gathering. All right. Again, in information gathering also, there are 2 types of information gathering. One is passive and one is active. All right. We will see that thoroughly in the next video. For now, we have to understand the theory or the basic foundation. All right. This is the first process or first step. Next is scanning. What do you understand by scanning? So first of all, what you have done, you have collected the information as much as possible, right? Now you need to do the deeper search. All right. This was the reconnaissance, was the normal overall basic search that you are doing. All right. Now you need to do some deep search. Okay. Or you can say it as scanning in technical terms. What is it exactly? Using tools to identify vulnerability in the target system through various scans. All right. In scanning, you are directly communicating with the target. Okay. In reconnaissance, whether you may communicate or not communicate, that is your choice, but in scanning you are directly communicating through your system to the target system. All right, that is called scanning, where you do some deep research on that particular system, whether it is having vulnerabilities or not. Some techniques are network mapping, port scanning, vulnerability scanning. All right, all these are different techniques that we will see throughout the session. All right, next is gaining access. So now imagine you have gathered all the information, you have done reconnaissance, you have done scanning. Now it's real time to gain access, right? So you have planned everything. Now you are going inside. That is what called gaining access. So attempting to exploit unidentified vulnerabilities to gain unauthorized access to the system. So in this step, you actually take the action. All right, you go inside, you steal something, or you check the system, how is it. So everything, the action is taken in this particular step. All right, some techniques are being used like SQL injection, buffer overflow attacks, phishing attacks. All these different attacks we are going to see in the later videos. After that, after gaining access, the fourth step is maintaining access. What you are exactly going to do after gaining the access. So maintaining access is nothing but establishing a persistent connection to the compromised system to assess the duration of undetected access. In simple word, I would tell that maintaining access is nothing but you create some kind of backdoor. Okay, imagine you entered someone's house. Now you are creating some secret door from where you can enter and go out of the house secretly without being known by the homeowner. All right, that is called maintaining access. That is kind of you have set some secret path through which you can communicate without letting know the owner. All right, that is what maintaining access is. So some techniques used are installing rootkits, creating hidden username, tunneling. All these are different techniques which we can use. Next is clearing tracks. So now you have done all your works, right? Now you have to clear the tracks. Whatever tracks you have left out during the process, you have to clear all those tracks. Like in real example, CCTV cameras or the footprints and fingerprints, all those you need to clear it up, right? This is called clearing tracks. Removing traces of ethical hacker activities from system logs to understand how attacker might cover their tracks after an attack. So in order to get safely removed, you need to clear all the tracks, right? That is what clearing tracks step is. Modifying log files, deleting evidence of unauthorized access. So basically whatever you do in someone's system, again all those will be stored in logs, right? So or the process that you are running on. So all those logs you need to clear it up. That is called clearing tracks, right? I hope you have understood this simple 5 process. This is very important. All right, next step is cyber kill chain methodology. All right, what is this exactly means? So we have seen the 5 process. Now you'll ask me, what is this again now? This is nothing but this is used by red team, or you can say offensive. All right, the unethical hacker, they use these particular steps. What are the steps? Again, it is almost same, just 2 more extra steps they take care of. That is recon, weaponization, delivery, exploitation, installation, command and control, actions on objectives. All right, this is for red team, or you can say unethical hacker use this step. All right, what are the 7 steps? Let us look at it thoroughly. All right, first is reconnaissance. Again the same thing, information gathering about the target system. As much as possible you need to collect all the data, right? Attacker gather information about the target to identify vulnerabilities. This includes studying public data, websites and social media, scanning for open ports, collecting data on employee, identifying security measures. Okay, this comes under reconnaissance. We have seen this in the previous process. Weaponization. So here what attacker creates a malicious payload paired with an unexploit that targets unidentified vulnerabilities. So here basically they are going to attack the target. So they have to set some payload or some kind of virus. All right, they need to send it to the target system. So they develop malware combining payloads with exploit. All right, they will prepare the payload. Next step is delivery. What does delivery mean? The malicious payload is transmitted to the target through various methods such as phishing, email, malicious links, or USB drives. This is very interesting. Sending phishing emails utilizing compromised websites for downloads. So I'll tell you an example. Imagine you are in a car parking plot and you find some pen drive or USB drive that is there in the ground. So now you pick up that USB drive and you put it into your system. So unknowingly, the virus would come into your system. That is how they somehow attack the unknown people or unaware people, and they get the control in the target system. All right, this is just an example I'm giving. It can be phishing email, it can be compromised websites for download. So there are different methods that they use. All right, next is exploitation. So after delivering, once the delivery is completed, next they will do is exploitation. Basically exploit or whatever they want, they will do it in the target system. Upon successful delivery, the attacker exploits the vulnerability in the target system to execute the payload and gain access. All right, triggering malware, exploiting software vulnerabilities. So they will exploit it. Next, installation. Next process, the attacker installs malware on the victim's systems to establish a foothold, allowing for persistent access in the future. This is similar to the backdoor creation. They create a secret backdoor so that they can save some time in order to access the target again. All right, installation, installing backdoors, setting up remote access tools. So this is how they do. Next is command and control. The attacker establishes a command and control channel to remotely manipulate the compromised system without detection, creating communication channels, sending commands to the installed malware. As the attacker establishes a command and control, basically they will control the target system and they will use it according to their needs. All right. Last is action on objectives. Finally, the attacker carries out their primary goal, which may include data theft, system disruption, or other malicious activities. This is self-explanatory. I hope you can understand this. Data exfiltration, encryption files for ransom disruption service. So whatever the objective of the hacker, they will carry out, and then they will misuse the vulnerability in the target system. So this is what cyber kill chain steps consist of. That is 7 steps. That is different from the last 5 steps. I hope you have understood this video. Make sure you subscribe the channel for the future videos. Thank you.